Meta's SEBI mandate, a game changer for Finfluencers. Meta has made it mandatory for advertisers running securities and investment advertisements, ads, on its platforms in India, including global campaigns, to get verified by the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, or if exempt from such registration, opt for identity or business verification. Experts said the move is likely to significantly impact Finfluencers on social media. Regulatory recognition is now essential. Those who have not formalized their advisory status, or whose content previously operated in a regulatory gray area, are likely to find themselves disqualified from promotion-based monetization. This change is already altering how financial influencers engage with brand partnerships and structure their content, said Sanchit Gogia, chief analyst at Greyhound Research. Greyhound, in a previous research, had noted that more than 50% of financial marketers have paused or reevaluated influencer engagements in response to rising compliance risk, adding a layer of regulatory legitimacy to this industry. The net result is clear. Finfluencers must now navigate an environment where compliance is not a constraint. It is the cost of legitimacy, said Gogia. As quoted in the Hindu Business Line, in an article authored by Valerie Sanjiri published on June 30th, 2025. Beyond the media quote, our view, in full. Meta's ad mandate redraws the lines of financial targeting. Meta's SEBI verification mandate is a structural intervention that redefines how investment-focused campaigns operate on digital platforms in India. By enforcing regulatory disclosure and advertiser identity checks at the platform level, Meta is recalibrating ad surfaces from open access to controlled environments, where targeting is governed not only by audience signals, but by credentials. For advertisers, especially in BFSI and fintech, this introduces new layers of segmentation. Compliant entities will have privileged access to high-trust visibility, while gray zone actors face systemic exclusion. Though this shift adds friction to execution, it simultaneously enhances campaign credibility and consumer trust. According to the Greyhound CMO Pulse 2025, 58% of marketing leaders in BFSI markets say platform-level compliance filtering has directly improved lead quality, while 54% report a measurable decline in fraudulent campaign activity. What emerges is a fundamental repositioning of social platforms. They're no longer just media carriers, but actors in regulatory enforcement, shaping who gets to participate in financial influence and under what conditions. Compliance load on Indian advertisers set to spike. The new SEBI-related advertising rules on Meta create important compliance responsibilities for financial advertisers, especially for those without formal regulations or relying on gray label distribution. While larger companies with legal teams and SEBI approvals can adapt easily, smaller firms and fintech startups now must handle both platform rules and regulatory understanding. They need to adjust their marketing language, campaign materials, and influencer agreements to meet SEBI standards. According to Greyhound CMO Pulse 2025, 46% of Indian BFSI marketers are now shifting campaign budgets toward compliance tools and legal checks, and over 60% expect this trend to increase in the next 2 quarters. Additionally, many brands must now consider previously unregulated efforts, like financial education and advisory content, as subject to supervision. Although these policies aim to enhance brand trust and protect customers, they also lead to higher costs, longer approval times, and decreased agility. This change represents a move from growth-focused marketing to compliance-driven communication, where clarity and credibility are prioritized over volume and virality. The Finfluencer era faces its first major reckoning. Meta's policy amounts to a strategic reset for India's Finfluencer economy. By tying ad access to regulatory legitimacy, the platform is transforming what was once an unregulated layer of financial influence into a filtered, compliance-first channel. For creators, this means that personal brand, follower count, or content quality are no longer sufficient conditions for ad viability. Regulatory recognition is now essential. Those who have not formalized their advisory status, or whose content previously operated in a regulatory gray area, are likely to find themselves disqualified from promotion-based monetization. This change is already altering how financial influencers engage with brand partnerships and structure their content. Greyhound CMO Pulse 2025 reveals that 54% of financial marketers have paused or reevaluated influencer engagements in response to rising compliance risk. This is less about punishing individual creators and more about restructuring the economy of trust in financial communication. The net result is clear. Finfluencers must now navigate an environment where compliance is not a constraint. It is the cost of legitimacy. Analyst in focus, Sanchit Gogia. Sanchit Gogia, or SVG as he is popularly known, is a globally recognized technology analyst, innovation strategist, digital consultant, and board advisor. SVG is the chief analyst, founder and CEO of Greyhound Research, a global, award-winning technology research, advisory, consulting, and education firm. Greyhound Research works closely with global organizations, their CXOs, and the board of directors on technology and digital transformation decisions. SVG is also the founder and CEO of the House of Greyhound, an eclectic venture focusing on interdisciplinary innovation. Copyright policy. All content contained on the Greyhound Research website is protected by copyright law and may not be reproduced, distributed, transmitted, displayed, published, or broadcast without the prior written permission of Greyhound Research or, in the case of third-party materials, the prior written consent of the copyright owner of that content. You may not alter, delete, obscure, or conceal any trademark, copyright, or other notice appearing in any Greyhound Research content. We request our readers not to copy Greyhound Research content and not republish or redistribute them, in whole or partially, via emails or republishing them in any media, including websites, newsletters, or intranets. We understand that you may want to share this content with others, so we've added tools under each content piece that allow you to share the content. If you have any questions, please get in touch with our community relations team at connect@thoffer.com.